The Great Buddhist Sutra that awakens me. Teaching of the truth in the Gong Thought. The prologue to prayer. I know I'm a creative and great being who realized 용화미륵대불부처님 Buddha's law of the independent arising and the Gong Thought and benefit the world. One, I know I am not an evanescent being, but a creative and great being who was born by the interdependent arising between my parents. 2. I knew that I am not an anatta. I knew I am a creative and great one who was born by the interdependent arising between my parents. 3. I know that I am not a suffering being, but a creative and great being who will open a new world. 4. I know I am not an evanescent being, and I know that I am not an anatta. I know I am not the cause of suffering. I know I am a creative and great being who is made up of the law of the interdependent arising and the Gong Thought. 5. I know I was not born by darkness of my previous life. I know I am a creative and great being which is born through the law of the interdependent arising done by my parents. 6. I know I am not born by the sensation, perceptions, mental formation, and consciousness. I know I am a creative and great being which is born through the law of the interdependent arising done by my parents. 7. Now I realize that everything is made by the interdependent arising for the first time. 8. I will keep in mind that what can't be seen and what can't be verified cannot do the interdependent arising. 9. I am going to enlighten that everything can do the interdependent arising only when they are alive, which is the law of the interdependent arising of 용화미륵대불부처님 Buddha, and I will advance to the truth. 10. I will keep in mind that everything does the interdependent arising between the same sorts, which is 용화mi륵대불부처님 Buddha's the law of the interdependent arising, and I will advance to the truth. 11. I will keep in mind that everything, including sensate existence and inanimate things, is the creative being, which is moved by the monetary interdependent arising. 12. I will keep in mind that everything, including sensate existence and inanimate things, is the creative being that is born by the Gong Thought and doing the interdependent arising with me. 13. I will keep in mind that 용화미륵대불부처님 Buddha's law of the interdependent arising and Gong Thought is the greatest law in the world, and I will move forward as a creative being. 14. I will keep in mind that 용화mi륵대불부처님 Buddha's law of the interdependent arising and the Gong Thought is the truth that benefits me as well as the world. 15. I will keep in mind that I am the being who doesn't transmigrate. I will keep in mind that if I live a benevolent life, I can always be happy, which is the truth of 용화미륵대불부처님 Buddha's law of the interdependent arising and the Gong Thought. 16. I won't be misled by the evil Buddhism, and I will keep in mind that the interdependent arising and the Gong Thought is the Dharma of the true reality. 17. I will keep in mind that everything in the world is the creative and great being that is made up of the law of the interdependent arising and the Gong Thought. 18. I will keep in mind that all the phenomena of being have the true substance, and the gong thought is created by the interdependent arising of these true substances. I must realize that I am not a being of a lump of pain, but a creative being that pursues happiness. 20. I must keep in mind that I am the being full of greed, so controlling the greed is the way to happiness. 21. I must keep in mind that I am the being full of anger, so controlling my temple is the way to happiness. 22. I must keep in mind that I am the being of ignorance, and controlling my folly is the way to happiness. 23. I will keep in mind that 6 sense organs, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind are the sources of all sufferings, and controlling the 6 sense organs well is the way to happiness. 24. Since my parents gave me 6 sense faculties, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, I will keep in mind that controlling 6 sense faculties is the way to happiness. 25. I will realize the world I live in right now is not a place full of pain, but a place full of happiness, and I will enlighten the law of the interdependent arising and the gong thought and graft these into my life. 26. I will enlighten 용화미륵대불부처님의 Buddha's law of the interdependent arising and the gong thought, rid myself of the folly of the sentient beings, and I will go on the path of happiness. 27. I will enlighten the interdependent arising and the gong thought. I will receive the precepts of the bright light by 용화미륵대불부처님 Buddha, and I will be reincarnated as a living Buddha in my next life. 28. I will use the law of the interdependent arising and the gong thought as a candle in my life while living a wise life. And I will use the law of the interdependent arising and the gong thought as an opportunity to reincarnate. 29. I will control the 6 sense faculties, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, well with the law of the interdependent arising and the gong thought, which is the source of desire, and I will pursue true happiness. 30. Just like even if there is a wave in the sea when the window blows, the ocean, as it is, doesn't change. I will notice everything itself is the gong thought. 31. I will notice that the nature of the universe is the gong thought. I will light up the inner lamp of me and be going to live wisely. 32. The body is the same as the old clothes, and the soul is my main character. I will receive the precepts of the bright light and live a life that will be reincarnated in the life to come, even if my body will die. 33. Because my heart is my main character, I'm going to take care of my heart, to let go of the obsession and greed which are the source of anguish. 34. I won't be bound to the body of transformation like the stone Buddha statue or the wooden Buddha statue. I will abide by the truth of the gong thought, which is the nature of the universe. 35. I will keep in mind that the teachings of saints, which is taught thousands years ago, is not accordance with the times, and it is not helpful in my present life. 36. I will enlighten that the birth of life is realized by the interdependent arising, and I will value life and will practice ahimsa. 37. The bad words, the bad deeds, and the bad mind arise the cause that makes me hard, so I will keep my body and mind clean all the time. "38. In order to be my true self, I will enlighten the gong thought, which is the nature of the universe. 39. To seek true wisdom, I will enlighten the gong thought, which is the nature of the universe. 40. I will enlighten that the gong thought is that, through the interdependent arising between this thing and that thing, something new is created. 41. Now I realize that I will have wisdom on my own, so that I can live happily in the world if I enlighten the gong thought. 42. Realization is the method of the sentient being's life. Now I know that realization is not real enlightenment. 43. Seeing, hearing, and speaking always cause the interdependent arising, so I will be conservative in seeing, hearing, and thinking. 44. Now I realize that the interdependent arising and the gong thought is in concord with the law established by Buddha, which is beneficial to all things. 45. Now I realize that there is no transmigration, because there is no karma of a past life. I am going to live my life to the full. 46. I will throw away the sordid scriptures that misled the sentient beings and accept the right teaching of the interdependent arising and the gong thought with my body and mind. 47. I have realized that if I love myself, my family, and my neighbor, my family, my neighbor, and I will become happy according to the interdependent arising. 48. If I get angry, I will cause another anger according to the interdependent arising. So I am going to erase my anger. 49. I know the truth that if I practice a good deed, the society will be a bright world according to the interdependent arising. 50. I realize that nirvana doesn't mean death, but means the emancipation which breaks agony. I realize that the gong thought is the real enlightenment. 51. I realize that Yonghua Maitreya Buddha, who brought the truth of the gong thought to this world, is the only Buddha who is going to save the sentient beings. 52. I have enlightened that the Yonghua Maitreya Buddha's interdependent arising and the gong thought is the supreme teaching which brings religion, philosophy, and science together. 53. I admire Yonghua Maitreya Buddha, who has completed the interdependent arising and the gong thought and shines on everything in the universe with the bright light. 54. I have no doubt that I can be reincarnated into a living Buddha if I receive the precepts by Yonghua Maitreya Buddha's bright light. 55. I have no doubt that if all the sentient beings in the countless worlds in the 10 quarters enlighten the law of the interdependent arising and the gong thought, their obsession and anguish will be gone, and they can get out of suffering. 56. I have no doubt that the gong thought is not empty but full in the everything of the universe. 57. I have no doubt that Mother Nature and I are one, not two. 58. I have no doubt that the gong thought is not the end, but a new beginning and creation. 59. Just like new flowers sprout through the interdependent arising between the flowers, and just like a child is born through the interdependent arising between a man and a woman, I have no doubt that everything has a new life through the interdependent arising. 60. I have no doubt that the doctrine of rebirth in the 6 realms of existence, hell, the worlds of hungry ghosts, animals, asuras, human, and heaven, according to one's karma, is wrong teaching. 61. I return with all my body and mind to 용화미륵 Buddha, who gives us the unsurpassed teaching on the planet, the law of the interdependent arising. 62. I return with all my body and mind to 용화미륵 Buddha, who gives us the unsurpassed teaching on the planet, the Gong thought. 63. I have no doubt that 용화미륵 Buddha's Gong thought is the truth that lights up the light of the heart, just like rain falling from the sky. 64. I believe in that the law of the interdependent arising and the Gong thought is the only teaching of truth, and I will practice it without doubt. 65. I have no doubt that if I enlighten the interdependent arising and the Gong thought, I have no doubt that if I enlighten the interdependent arising and the Gong thought, I will know I am a very important person. I will give up my bad thoughts and I will gain the wisdom. 66. I will keep in mind that the existing Buddhism is an illusion like a floating cloud, a lightning that disappears, something that flows like water and doesn't come back, and something that doesn't fit the reality. 67. I have realized that the law of the interdependent arising is scientific, mathematical, philosophical, and unexcelled law that takes me to the world of thought. 68. I have realized that the Gong thought is scientific, mathematical, philosophical, and unexcelled law that leads me creatively. 69. I have no doubt that I am born through the interdependent arising. I have enlightened that I am a creative being that makes up this universe. I have no doubt that I am a great Gong thought. 70. I have enlightened that just like gold and diamonds will not change even if countless years has passed, Gong thought itself is the truth of eternal life. 71. I have realized that the Diamond Sutra is neither permanent nor non-permanent, which means it's not this nor that, and it's not that nor this, and the wondrous being of true emptiness are not the right truth. I have realized that only Maitreya Buddha's Gong thought by the interdependent arising is the truth that brightens the world. 72. I am going to keep it in my heart that the living 용화미륵 Buddha, who is the master of the universe, has created the 용화 world. 73. I have realized that, just like the gold is the gold from the beginning, and the diamond is the diamond from the beginning, 용화미륵 Buddha has enlightened the Gong thought before he comes to this world, and 용화미륵 Buddha has brought the bright light to the world. 74. I have realized that the reason why 용화미륵 Buddha brought the bright light to the Saba world is that 용화mi륵 Buddha wants to save the sentient beings who are trapped in a stupid Buddhism. 75. I will keep it in my heart that just like the dead persimmon tree neither bloom nor bear fruit, the Buddhism of thousands of years ago can't do the interdependent arise. So if we pray hard, the oath will not be fulfilled. 76. I have realized that the 용화미륵 Buddha's the interdependent arising and the Gong thought is the great truth that takes care of the sentient being's suffering and discrimination, and that enlighten the folly of the sentient beings. "77. I have realized that if the sentient beings of this world enlighten the right laws of the interdependent arising and the gong thought, the misfortune of their families will be gone, and their families will be full of blessings. 78. I have realized that because the gong thought is the nature of the universe, if we enlighten the gong thought right way, the folly of the sentient beings will be disappeared, and the wisdom will rise. 79. I have realized that the reason why the sentient beings have been wandering in the dark is that they have learned and followed the wrong Buddhism. 80. Since the interdependent arising can't be done with the dead things, I have realized that not a single sentient being who followed the Buddhism which was dead and disappeared thousands of years ago can be reincarnated, and all these sentient beings have disappeared. 81. I know that the sun is the most important thing in this world of Saba, where many sentient beings live, those born from a womb, those hatched from eggs, those generated from warm humidity. Plants like flowers and trees, those with or without shape, will disappear, and there will be nothing left on this earth without the sun. 82. I have realized that, in the Saba world, hundreds of billions of people are dying right now, but not a single human being can be reincarnated, and the souls are wandering out of space. 83. I have realized it from the bottom of my heart that a Buddha can emit the bright light from his body, so the sentient beings who don't have the bright light can't become Buddha. 84. I have realized that since Sakyamuni, Bodhisattvas, Jesus, and the Virgin Mary were not enlightened, they didn't have the bright light in their bodies, so they couldn't save a single person from thousands of years ago. 85. The souls of the human beings who have received the precepts from Sakyamuni or all the Buddha and Bodhisattvas have disappeared and haven't been reincarnated because they didn't receive the precepts by the bright light. 86. Just like everything disappears in an instant without the sun's light, I have realized the magnificent and majestic law is the gong thought. 87. I have realized that if I receive the precepts by the bright light of Yonghua Maitreya Buddha, I can become a Buddha after the death, or I can go to the Yonghua world after the death, or I can be reincarnated after the death. 88. I have realized that the bodies and the souls of people who don't receive the precepts by Yonghua Maitreya Buddha will disappear, and they can't be reincarnated. 89. I have realized that if I observe and read well, this gong thought until the moon ends its life, the sun ends its life, and the universe ends its life, I can become a Buddha. 90. I have realized that it's the gong thought to love my family, love my neighbor, love this society, and love this world. 91. I have realized that the gong thought is not far away. I have realized that flowers, trees, the moon, the sky, and the sea are the gong thought. 92. It is not that matter itself is voidness. Voidness itself is matter, is the gong thought. I have realized that something that we can only see it with our eyes and confirmed is the gong thought. 93. I have realized that even though my body and mind always change, I, the gong thought, won't change until the day I die. 94. I have realized that the parents who gave me the body are the gong thought. I have realized that I am the gong thought. I have realized that treating me with high regard is a filial piety. 95. I have realized that my family, neighborhood, and society are working according to the gong thought. 96. I am going to keep it in my heart that if I enlighten the unsurpassed teaching of the interdependent arising and the gong thought, my wisdom will rise. 97. I swear that I will become a human which is beneficial to the world by taking care of my body, mouth, and thoughts because I am a gong thought. 98. I know that when I pray earnestly to the utmost of my heart, which is now, is the happiest moment. 99. I hope I can understand Yonghua Maitreya Buddha's law of the interdependent arising and the gong thought to the best, and I wish my family and my neighbor be happy with the never-failing wisdom. 100. I will keep in mind that the interdependent and the gong thought is an unchanging truth until the day I die, and I promise that I will return to the truth until the day I die.
예수님의 12 제자, 석가모니 부처님의 안한존자, 그리고 깨우쳐 오신 미륵부처님의 공사상을 세상에 알린 태명 해우 스님. 출가 그리고 수행. 석가모니 불께 수기를 받고 미륵부처님을 만나 미륵불법을 펴기까지 조회수 100만 회를 돌파한 태명 해우 스님의 출가 수행기. 불교의 현주소. 천도되지 못한 부모님과 끝없는 천도제의 굴레. 정직한 수행자의 비참했던 과거부터 깨우쳐 오신 생불 용화미륵부처님을 마주하기까지. 거짓 천도제와 잘못된 가르침으로부터 기도하고 빌어서는 이룰 수 없다는 진리를 깨닫기까지. 살아계신 미륵부처님의 몸에서 나오는 광명의 빛을 처음 마주한 살아있는 증인의 생생한 목소리와 진리를 관통하는 깨우친 출가 수행기. 태명 해우 스님의 13년간의 간절한 소청 끝에 마침내 미륵불법 공사상이 담긴 조회수 1억 회를 돌파한 한국 불교의 기념비적 법문의 탄생. 수천 년간 왜곡되어 전파된 기존 불법에 모순된 깨우침, 그 뒤틀린 이치를 바로잡다. 안양수리산용화사 용화미륵대불 특별법문 125부. 지금 바로 안양수리산용화사 유튜브 채널에서 확인하세요. 매주 일요일 사바세계에 오신 생불 용화미륵부처님께서 안양수리산용화사에서 공사상을 설하십니다. 문의 전화 031-444-9985.
사바세계에 오신 생불 용화미륵부처님께 안내하겠습니다.